Assessment for epistemic justice, the importance of knowledge fields. In this article, we considered the epistemic dimension of assessment for social justice, and particularly how this can be understood and realized within different knowledge fields. As such, it is a bringing together of work we have undertaken individually, Jan on assessment for social justice and myself on knowledge fields, both of which have been influenced by Suellen Shay's scholarship on knowledge, curriculum, and assessment. Jan situates herself theoretically in critical theory and teaches in the field of higher education, whilst I situate myself in critical realism and teach chemistry. We see in our collaboration and in our happiness to deal with differing ideas and conceptions a reflection of the collegiality at the heart of Suellen's work.
Our understanding of epistemic justice draws heavily on the work of Fricker. While Fricker does not write explicitly about assessment, her focus on people as knowers resonates strongly with the focus of our work, and particularly enables us to build on my existing work on assessment for social justice. Fricker outlines two ways in which people as knowers can be wronged in an epistemological sense: testimonial injustice and hermeneutic injustice. If we take our cello player here, she may not look as some people imagine the cello player of an orchestra should look. On that basis, she may be the victim of testimonial injustice, where people do not trust the knowledge she has as a virtuoso in her profession, simply because they don't think she looks as if she should have such knowledge. Hermeneutic injustice encompasses the phenomenon where a person is not recognized as a trustworthy knower in society because they are prevented from accessing the concepts or meanings that would bestow such recognition. Our young students here may well have chemistry knowledge, but because they haven't had access to some of the norms of academic and scientific discourse, people may not accept the veracity of the knowledge they have.
I've developed a model for understanding the practice of a knowledge field as being an interplay of three elements: the world under interrogation, the conceptual world, and the community of knowledge practitioners. For example, in the field of chemistry, the world under interrogation is the physical world at the molecular level. The conceptual world is the canon of chemistry, and the community of knowledge practitioners would be chemists. Each epistemic field can thus be defined, and this model can apply to any epistemic field. There will always be an interplay between the development of concepts, developing the science, and the use of concepts to effect change, developing technology. The conception of the distinction between the physical world and the social world can usefully be brought into conversation with Fricker's notion of testimonial and hermeneutic injustice. In a knowledge field such as chemistry, the world under investigation is a given, as it is limited to the molecular world. Epistemic misclaims are most likely to occur at the third level, the community of knowledge practitioners. The problem in a science-based knowledge field such as chemistry is that the objectivity which does exist at the level of the world under investigation, and does largely exist much of the time at the level of the conceptual world, is then also assumed to exist at this level of the community of knowledge practitioners. This is hugely problematic and can give rise to both hermeneutic and testimonial epistemic injustice.
In the knowledge field of sociology, there are different issues of time and space impacting on the understanding of the field's three dimensions, and therefore impacting on the epistemic justice or injustice that may be generated. The world under investigation in sociology is clearly temporal, unlike that of chemistry. The change and development of sociological phenomena over time is central to the knowledge field. Similarly, the conceptual world of sociology is subject to change and broadly accepts change. The scope for epistemic injustice is far more apparent when we consider the issue of place and these three aspects of the sociological knowledge field. For example, in chemistry, A chemist would understand that if they take a molecular reaction from a hot environment to a cold environment, that there is a change there that must be taken into account. However, in sociology, we have, for example, the famous work of Bourdieu and Archer, which were created and based in very particular contexts of France or England, and yet are regularly taken elsewhere. What does it mean to take their work and put it into Tanzania? Is there potential for epistemic injustice? The implications of our application of Fricke's work is that we must bring assessors into view. The assessors in higher education are not neutral, objective observers of the knowledge development of the students. For too long, assessment processes have been taken to be socially neutral and epistemically just. This position can no longer be held without critique.